Welcome to the fun part. We can finally start building our homepage and making our website look awesome. In step 11, we're going to get you started with a modern, beautiful looking website. To get us started, let's head to the top left and click on our website name to get us into the WordPress dashboard. Head down to your Pages tab. Now there are three ways to get into editing your homepage. You can click Edit with Elementor. The second option is to click Edit here, and then you can click the blue button Edit with Elementor, which will take you through to the Elementor page builder. The third option is to go back to your homepage, click on your website name, and at the top there's an Edit with Elementor button, and click on that, and this will take us through to the Elementor page builder section, which is going to be new for you guys, but we're going to talk you through how to get going in this section. To get us started, we're going to delete this text that we added in one of the past lessons, and we are going to go to the red button, Add New Section. Now this is going to give you a few options. There's a 1-column option, 2 columns, 3, 4, and so on, different arrangements of columns that you can use. For now, we are going to select 1 column for our home page. Now that we have our first section of our home page, we're going to grab a heading and drop that into that first section. Now we're going to update the text of our heading by highlighting the title on the left here, and you can input the text that you want for your heading. We're going to use freedom. Now we're going to customize our heading. So let's center this text and then head to the top and click on the style button. We're going to change the text color to black. So let's select black as our text color and head out and go to the typography, and we're going to make sure that the font family is Roboto and increase the size of our text. So we can scroll along and see the size of the text increase as we scroll it. We're going to make our text 78, and then we can adjust the weight or the thickness of our text. So if we do 100, it's going to be very thin, and if we do 900, it's going to be very strong and bold. We're going to go with 600 for our title. Then you can adjust the spacing between the letters. So letter spacing is left to right spacing. And we're going to go with 1.9. Head out of the typography. Then we're going to scroll to the top and click on Advanced tab. And we are going to adjust the margin, which is the spacing around our freedom text. So click unlink to unlink the values, and we're going to change the top of the margin to 250. Then we're going to leave the other values at 0, so those are going to remain unchanged. Then let's head down to the entrance animation for the text. So this is going to give you a bit of movement as your visitor arrives on your website. So you can use bounce in, and it just makes a nice impact to have it slightly different. So as a person arrives, you have a bit of animation. We don't want to do too much like that rotating. Let's keep it small and just draw a tiny bit of attention to our heading. So you can go through and have a look at the different options available to you here, but remember, let's try and keep it as simple as possible. Head up to the top right and click on those little boxes. It's going to allow us to add another heading. So it's going to be a subheading under our main heading. Drop that in there, and we're going to adjust the text. This is going to be your website tagline. Ours is simple steps, big results. So once you've changed your text, we're going to customize it. So let's center it and then head over to style and change it to black as well. and then into typography, and we're going to adjust the size and weight to make sure we've got Roboto as the text, and use the slider to see how big you want the text to be. Depending on how long your tagline is, we're just going for a nice look and feel, and we don't want our subheading to be bigger than our main title of our website. So I like a nice thin weight as 300 there. Then head back up to the top right, and we're going to add a button for our website. Drop the button in there, and you can change the text that appears in the button. So we're going to say start now and center the button. Head over to style, and we can change the coloring of our button here. So we're going to change the background color. You can make this whatever color suits your website, but you want something that stands out and draws the website visitors' attention into the website. So we're going to make this nice and red and bold. The sliders on the right hand side are the luminance and the opacity, so you can make it darker or lighter and a bit more see-through or less see-through depending on these two sliders. So play around them and see how you want your button to look for your website. Once you're done, click out of there and head over to the Advanced tab. This is going to let us change the spacing around. So we're going to click on padding, which is going to be the spacing within the box, and we're going to update this to 2 pixels. Now we want to add an image to the background of this first section. So if you click on the blue box on the top left hand side in the middle of your website and then click on style, we've got 3 different options here for background type. So if you click on the paintbrush, we can add a normal image. So we're going to select a file and upload the image that we want to add as our background picture. Now if you don't have any pictures that you can currently use, go and have a look at a cool website called unsplash.com. They do allow you to use images as long as you give the photographer credit for taking the photograph. So it's nice to just put a little note on your website to notify that you are using someone else's images and make sure that you give them credit. Once your image is uploaded, head down to position, and we are going to choose top center and scroll down and go to size, and we want to cover the website. Now you can go back and try different positionings once you've hit that cover button. So if center or bottom center is better for your image, you can have a look at how it adjusts and moves around on your website. This is also going to be affected by the margin and padding that you have on your buttons and titles. So if we change the button margin to 100, we get a bit more spacing at the bottom so we can see more of our image. If we change it to 150, you see it adds a bit more to the bottom. If we click on the freedom, which is a title, and we change the top spacing to 150, it shortens that spacing above it and it moves the text up a bit. So you can play around with these figures and see how it changes and see what you are happy with so that your image matches exactly where the text is and how it is laid out. So once we've added our image, click on that green update button and let's preview what our website is looking like so far. Now we're starting to get a bit of that modern, beautiful look that we're all looking for. So just look at solid lines on your website, see how the button is going through the horizon line. So we want to get that spacing right so that it's not going exactly through the text. So we can play around with figures here, add a tiny bit, take some away, and have a look at the preview and how it changes. So now that horizon is perfectly under the Simple Steps Big Results, and our button is below it. So that looks a lot better and looks like it's made to fit. Don't forget to add a link to your button, especially if you have a call to action and you want to send them somewhere on your website. You can update this link right here, and that will take them to the page that you want them to land on. Once you've updated your link, let's add our second section, and we're going to choose 3 columns for our second section. See how it's divided by 3 different columns there? So we're going to add an icon to the first column and head back in and drop a title below that icon, and then head back and grab the text editor and drop that below the heading. So we've got 3 new items in our first column. Let's head back to the icon and update what icon we've got here. So if you click on the drop down here, you can search. There are lots of different icon options here, and you can change that, and then you can adjust the size of your icon as well as the color that is used on that. So you can scroll this scroller under size, and you'll see it changes the icon size, and you can make it as big as you would like. So go on the look and feel according to what size you would like. We're going to go with 139 for now, and then you can adjust the primary color that's used on the icon. So we are going to use a specific hex code for the exact WordPress blue. Select your color and then click on the color to head back out. Now we're going to update our heading. So click on the heading and you can change the text. We're going to update the text to create a website. And then we're going to center the text and then head over to style, and we're going to change the text color to the same color we used as the icon so that it's matching and flowing. So enter that exact same code and click on the color to go back out so they're nice and matching. Nice flowing color. You can play around with the size of the typography to match the column width, and we can adjust the weight if we would like text to be a tiny bit thinner or a tiny bit thicker, depending on what you want. We're going to make this text a bit thinner, so 400 is perfect. Then let's head in and edit our text. So you can input a little brief about what you are showing in this icon. So it's going to be relevant to your website. This is our Create a Website course link. Actually, the course that you're busy with right now. This is the button that links into our course. So we're going to center that text and add a button into the bottom. So we want that call to action button to join the Create a Website course. So we're going to update the text to Learn Now. Click on Style, and we can change the text color to our blue WordPress that we used everywhere else. And we're going to change the background color to clear. So scroll that opacity slider all the way to the bottom, and then we're going to add a solid border. So under border type, select solid and change the width to 2 pixels. That'll give us a nice thin border around the outside of our button. And then if we adjust the border radius, so we're going to use 10 pixels, it just rounds those corners quite nicely. So when you're happy that you have completed your first column, what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this column so we don't have to redo all the work and change the style on every single button. So if you scroll to the top left and you click on the second button, which is the copy or duplicate, and then head to the empty ones and click on there and click X, and it removes the column. So we're back to 3. Now we have duplicated exactly what we want and need here. Now we can click on the icon and update it. We're going to put a cog and update the text to digital marketing. So this is the second section that we're going to have here. Remember, these are going to suit your website and may be different to what we are currently doing. So we're going to update the color to a red and copy that code so that we can change the icon color to the same color. I'm going to paste that in so it's the same red. We're going to update this text so it's relevant for the digital marketing and paste the text in that you want to use. You may need to type this up. We've done it already, so we're going to paste that text in here. And the last thing we're going to do is update the color and text on our button. So we're going to change this to Start Now and then head into Style and update the text color to our red. We can paste that code in again. And there we go, we have a nice red button so that it's its own color and standalone compared to the Creator website. That's the second column complete. So let's head into the third column, click on the icon and update the icon to, we're going to put a money sign and we're going to change this Creator website text. We're going to change this to Start a Business. Then let's head over to Style and we're going to change this text color to a nice dollar green. Select that green and then update the color of the icon to the same green so that we get that nice flow. Then we're going to head down and change the button color. Let's change that button text to Get Started and then head over to Style and update the text color. Then let's paste the text that we've created for Start a Business so that we have our special text specific to our third column. So now what we want to do is align all these buttons so that it's balanced and symmetrical. So we need to get the spacing and margins right to get all of the 3 buttons in line with each other. So I'm going to fiddle with this spacing, and obviously it's going to be different for your website. So you can fiddle and I'll jump to once we have all of these aligned. This can be a bit tricky and fiddly, but it's really important to make sure that all of these look good and symmetrical. Okay, now that we've got them all lined up, let's add our third section, which we're going to use as 2 columns. And then let's head up to the top right. We're going to add a text box into the right hand column. And we're going to paste a nice motivational quote into this text box from Mr. Jim Rohn. Let's center that text. Change the text color to black. Then we're going to head to the middle of the column and select it and hit Style, and we're going to go to Background Type and add an image. So select the image that you would like to upload and click Insert. Okay, so we've got the image here, but we need to get the spacing right. So let's go center for position and size to cover, and then let's click back on the text and go to advanced, and we're going to update the padding. So this again is dependent on the image that you use and the spacing that you would like. So you need to fiddle around with what looks good and how the spacing works so that the image fits nicely together with the text on the background. So we've got 350 at the bottom and 50 at the top. Now we're going to adjust the size of the typography to match the spacing. So as you increase it, you can see the center text moves it around a bit, and it moves on the background. This is just a look and feel, and you'll get the hang of it and see exactly what you want. So we're going to leave this at 18. And then adjust the weight down to 300, so we've got that nice thin text look. And you can play with the letter spacing if you'd like to, just to spread it out a bit. Other thing that you can do is you can adjust these columns depending on how far you want your text to come across. So you'll see the percentages. As you drag those columns, your percentages will change. So you can adjust the size of the text again once you've adjusted the width of the column to make it fit exactly how you want it to look. This is a bit fiddly, but it's all worth it in the end to have a nice modern looking website. Let's click on the eye to preview our home page. So we've got our heading in the top left, we've got our nice menu on the right hand side. We've got our heading, subheading and call to action button in the middle. And if you scroll down, we've got our 3 sections which talk about the services that we offer on our website, with our 3 call to action buttons and our nice image and quote to end off. We hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you did, hit that like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos to come. In our next video, step 12, we will show you how to make sure your website is responsive for mobile phones and tablets. To go straight to step 12 right now, click the link that we've supplied for you here, and we'll see you in the next video.